I can't even do this right now because I look like a literal boy, but my phone is not quite going off. You're probably wondering who the heck is texting me at 3:48 in the morning, but we're about to leave and go to the airport, so. No! The air just turned on. Hey guys, what is up? I am here to share another video with you. This video is my experience flying. Just so you know, this is the third time that I've ever flown. The first two times were over 4 years ago, and the very first time I've ever flown was by myself. Was my first time flying. I was 16 years old. I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I made it through. The second time I flew was with my church family. We were going on a mission kind of trip thing, something like that. So, do I need lipstick? I think so. Does that look better? At least it's a little color on these pale no lips. So yeah, the last time I flown was over 4 years ago. First time I flew was by myself, so I figured, okay, I can do this. I'm 20 years old. I'm gonna be able to fly by myself again. So all of the times that I've flown, I have left from the Charleston airport, very small airport, flown to Charlotte, and then the first time I flew to Orlando airport, and then the second time I flew to Detroit, and then this time I once again flew to Orlando. Pretty much I had to wake up super early in the morning. It was 3 o'clock when I woke up, and then previous to Saturday when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had worked 7 days in a row, so I was pretty tired. I knew that once I got off the plane, like I was gonna Uber to the resort, and then we were going to hit some amusement parks. So I knew that I was going to be tired, like super dead, super tired, exhausted. So basically, my grandparents drove me from the house to the airport. They woke up super early with me. Really appreciate that. Love you guys. And we get there, and I have super bad anxiety, like through the roof anxiety, and I've recently realized that like I've started having panic attacks. Like I've always had anxiety, but recently it's gotten a lot worse, and you know, just good stuff. So I'm already like have anxiety about having to fly by myself. I'm one of those people who has to be at least like 30 minutes early to wherever I'm going, and I know when you go to the airport, like you need to be there at least an hour before your flight. And so I woke up 3 o'clock. We left like 45 minutes. We gave ourselves 45 minutes to drive there. We ended up getting there at like 4:30 in the morning, and my flight left at 5:30. So pretty much my grandpa was in the passenger seat, my grandma was driving, I was in the back seat. I was just gonna get out and go inside, but my grandma was like, no, like I'm gonna come with you, and I was like, okay, because they actually flew out a few days ago, and it's the first time that they've flown in a really long time, so she kind of wanted to get an idea of what she was gonna have to go through when they were flying out. So she's driving, and I know like whenever you get to the airport, like you pull over in that little lane to let somebody out, and like you need to drive off. So I'm already like, get out of the car, like come on, let's go, hurry up, and like I'm super like fast paced, and she's just taking her time, and I'm like, no, like hurry up, he needs to get in the driver's seat, he needs to take the car and go, because like they're gonna yell at us, and I can't deal with that anxiety of like them blowing their little whistle telling us we need to like hurry up. So she gets out of the car. I don't have any bags because my parents had actually already driven down to Orlando. They took my luggage with them. I just had a carry-on like purse with like headphones, you know, good stuff like that, my wallet, charger and all. So my grandma and I walk inside, and there is like this long, like super long line of people. I'm on American Airlines, so like I see the thing that says American Airlines, and there's one that says United, but all the people were at the American Airlines thing, and like all I see is this thing that says bag check, and then priority, I think it was, and I was like, okay, I'm not priority, I'm definitely just normal. So I'm like, I guess I need to get in this line with all these people with these bags. So I'm in this line, and like this line is so insanely long. I'm like, my anxiety is through the roof, thinking that I'm not gonna have enough time to get this done, then go through security, then get to my gate and like have enough time to comfortably like digest everything that's happening. It's also 4:30 in the morning. We get in this line, we're waiting in this line, and she keeps telling me, she's like, just ask somebody, like maybe they can help you. And I'm like, no, we're just gonna stay here. Like once we get up there, they'll tell us what we need to do, blah 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 blah. So like the line's moving for like a good bit, and then like all of a sudden like the line just stops. Like it's not moving, nothing's happening, nobody is moving, like going up to the counters or anything. And like in like a little area like before the counters, like there's these kiosks, but I didn't know what they meant. And it's been 4 years since I've done this by myself with, like, I didn't know what to do. So we're just standing in this line, and like it's getting closer and closer to 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm only gonna have 30 minutes, like this needs to go. So finally these like the airport people start yelling, if you're on flight blah blah blah, you need to come over here to get your bags checked. And I'm not getting a bag check, so I'm like, okay, I don't need to go over there. And like this flight is my flight, and they're literally yelling, and this is making my anxiety go through the roof even more, because they keep repeating, if you're on this flight you have to come over here because the flight is gonna leave in less than 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And finally like this flight lady comes around, and she's like asking people, are you on flight da 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 da? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, go over there. And I was like, hi, I'm on this flight, this is my paperwork, I don't know what I'm doing, please help me. She's like, all you need to do is go to that kiosk right there, which the kiosk line was like this compared to the other line that was like this. So I could have been done with this situation, been through security, and been waiting at my gate, but I didn't know any better. I get to my little kiosk, and I don't know what I'm typing in on this kiosk, because once again, I don't fly. So then like my grandpa finally gets this lady to come over and help me, and she's like, oh, you just need to type in this number. So I typed in the little number, and my little boarding pass is printed out, and I was like, thanks, this could have been done 45 minutes ago, but of course it wasn't. So then I like am like anxiety through the roof. I am booking it across the airport. It's a small airport, thank God. And I'm like running to security. I'm like, okay, bye, love you guys, thanks. And they're like, they wanted to watch me go through security and everything, I guess. So like I'm standing at the security line. I forgot that I had to have like my ID out. So then I'm like shuffling through my purse. People are waiting on me to get my ID out, give it to this lady. And then I get to like the little security, like where you go through it and you put your bags and everything on there. And I was wearing like a cropped sweatshirt and then a sweatshirt on top of that, because I knew like I could get cold on the plane or whatever. Like I'm about to go through this little beeper, and this lady's like, take your sweatshirt off. So then I'm like stripping my sweatshirt, and like my other sweatshirt's coming up, and I'm half naked in this airport. And I was literally just almost in tears, and like I had put everything on the little conveyor belt that needed to go through. And then I realized that like my freaking Apple Watch was still on my wrist, and I was like, oh my god, like what do I do? So I just go through the little security thing, you know, you put your hands up like this, and like I go through, and she's like, the lady's patting down somebody else, but the guy was like, no, you went off, like you need to stand right here. And I'm like, okay. And so I thought that like maybe it was my Apple Watch, but when it came up on the screen, it was like my back, like the top of my back, like where my hoodie like is. And I'm thinking, oh my god, like is there something in my hoodie? Like did a hair clip fall in my hoodie? Is there a paper clip in my hoodie? I didn't know what to think. But anyway, she's like, okay honey, like come here, and like pats me down, and she's like, you're fine. And I was like, okay. And then I'm sitting here thinking, what on me went off? Like why did it go off on me, you know? Then like all my stuff is like crammed up at the end of the conveyor belt, like almost falling off the conveyor belt, because she's had to pat me down and everything. So I get all my belongings, I zoom to my gate, and then I look down at my boarding pass and realize that it doesn't have a seat and it doesn't have a group on it. And I'm like, well, this is great. So I'm like, okay. So I sit down, and like there's already people boarding, and I'm like sitting down, like I was just like, okay, I'll go with the last group because that makes the most sense. Then all of a sudden, like she was calling people's names up to come to the little desk right before you board the plane, and then like group 9 was called to board, and so I get in that line, and I'm like almost to the place where you scan your little boarding pass and get on the plane, and she was like, Caitlin Sojourner, please come to the desk. And I was like, okay. So I go up there and I'm like, hi, you called my name? And she's like, okay. And I was like, I don't have a seat number or anything. And she goes, okay, well now you do. And like hands me my new pass and everything. So we go, and I get through the line, I get on the plane, and we're sitting down. Everybody's on the plane. It's like a few minutes before 5:30, so like we're gonna depart early, and then boom. The pilot comes over the intercom thing and was like, this is your pilot speaking, blah, 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 blah. So we're having some mechanical issues with the plane. Or the plane is malfunctioning, or something like that. Some words that you don't want to hear when you're on a plane about to take off and flying in the air. So I'm just like, great. So we ended up delayed for like 45 minutes. I wasn't too concerned with missing my next flight because I had an hour and 45 minutes layover. So I knew that I was fine, but like other people were talking about missing their flights, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm just chilling, my main concern being that this plane is going to crash. After 45 minutes of sitting there, they finally like cleared us to take off and everything. And the day before, I watched a video, I think it was Zain Hijazi, if I said that right, about flying planes. Just like, you know, just entertainment, just watching it, not thinking about the fact that I'm flying the next day. And basically, he said something about planes crash the last 20 minutes of flight. And a flight from Charleston to Charlotte is maybe like 20-30 minutes. So I was like, cool. So the whole chance we have to crash is the whole chance that we're in the air. Also, someone else in that video said that 95% of airplane crashes are pilot error. So I was like, cool, that's awesome too. So we're like taking off and everything, you know, good stuff. But now that I have like this whole plane malfunction thing in my head, any slightest bit of turbulence, like the turbulence wasn't bad, but any little bit of turbulence, I'm sitting there thinking, we're gonna die. Like, we're crashing, we're falling to the ground, you know, good stuff. So we finally, like, we land in Charlotte. Charlotte Airport is definitely much bigger than Charleston Airport, even though not by much. But we get there, and I, like, the people in front of me getting off, I was at the very back of the plane, like, the back of the plane. So I'm the last person to get off because everybody else had to get off in front of me. And, like, all the people in front of me are, like, looking at this guy, like, holding this tablet, and they're like, flight da-da-da, and he's like, okay, gate da-da-da, and, like, just like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to do that because I'm not concerned, like, I'm not switching flights, like, I know which flight I'm getting on. So, I'm then, like, just traveling down to my gate, my next gate, and, like, I go down there, check out, like, if they're already boarding, what group is boarding, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, I had a few minutes to, like, spare. I went and got $6 M&Ms and barbecue chips, most I've ever spent on M&Ms and barbecue chips in my entire life, and I went to the bathroom. Then I went and got on that plane, and that plane actually took off earlier than expected. And I don't know if, like, he was just flying 9,000 miles per hour, but, like, we got to the Orlando airport earlier than expected also. So I had a window seat on that plane. I got to, you know, look out the window or whatever. It was a good time. We get to Orlando, we land, we get off the plane. I'm off, like, we're there early, so I get off the plane early. I'm supposed to Uber from the airport to the resort, which also gives me anxiety because, like, Ubers are scary. Like, I don't want to get kidnapped from an Uber, you know? So, the Orlando airport is massive. Like, it might not actually be massive compared to other airports, but it was massive to me. And so, like, literally, the way that it looked on, like, the map was, like, there's one thing in the middle and then 4 things, like, out around it. So, like, there's 5 things total, and, like, the middle part was, like, where you get your baggage and, like, people pick you up, and the other 4 things on the outside were, like, where planes land and you get off. So, like, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on my little Uber app, and it's telling me it's going to pick me up at, it wants me to choose whether it's going to pick me up at Terminal A or Terminal B or baggage claim A or baggage claim B. I don't know. So I'm off this plane, and I'm just walking aimlessly to wherever it says that I need to go. Like, I don't even know what it looked like at this point because I can't even remember. So anyway, I get on this little train thing that takes me to that center thing where like the baggage claim is. And my Uber app is telling me like baggage claim A, baggage claim B. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. So finally, like, my mom calls me and she was like, hey, your sister's thing got done early, like, we can come get you. So it's gonna be 30 minutes before they get there to get me. So I'm like, you know what? You need to come get me. I'm not Ubering. I don't know where this Uber thing is. Just come get me. So I, like, had 30 minutes to chill out, gather myself in the airport, and collect my thoughts over what the morning had brought me. So my parents finally get there, and I am outside waiting by the street, and like the pillars have like numbers on them. So like I'm by pillar 2, and she's like, okay, we're at pillar 6, and I was like, well, I didn't see you pass, but okay. So like the way it went was 2, 4, 6, so I literally didn't have to walk very far. I was like, I do not see you. They had a luggage carrier on top of the car and everything. I was like, I don't see the car. So I was like, Mom, is there a roof above you? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, there's not a roof above me. Like, okay, hang on, I'm coming down there. So I go back inside. I'm literally running. I had my purse on my shoulder, but I also had like my iPad and the chargers in my hand because like I was just chilling for 30 minutes. So like I'm running on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming downstairs, and I'm out of breath because I'm out of shape. I go down these escalators, and I'm like, okay, I'm down here, and like I go to walk outside, and I look over, and there's escalators to go down more stairs to a different level, and then farther down those I can see a floor, and then more escalators. So there's like 4 stories of where you can be picked up at. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not sure what level you're on, but there's like multiple levels. And she's like, well, just come outside. So I get outside, and like I look one way, I look the other, I see the luggage rack carrier. It's like all the way down there. Like I'm having to like run, and I'm like, and I can hear my mom on the phone. She's like, open the trunk, pretend like we're doing something, like, because they've already yelled at them once because they've been there for like a solid like 3 minutes at this point. And so my mom's like pretending to get stuff out the trunk, and like I'm like running, and I finally get there. Alright, I'm in my Uber. Okay, I'm in my Uber. Uber and everywhere.
We hit 0. Overall score 95.5.
You're ruining my video.
Nobody cares. Well, at least you hit 0.
Alright, so I'm in the Uber. We're on the way back to the resort.
2 miles, SR5.
I can't, there's too much noise. It was a long day, but that's pretty much what happened. I don't know if you find this interesting. To me it was crazy. To you it might just be a normal day in your life. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video. I am still trying to get both of my vacation vlogs up. I'm lazy, so I'm sorry. But I'll see you guys later. Have a great one.